Welcome to a deep dive into the world of cattle neurology. Today, we're going to be exploring a potential breakthrough in diagnosing neurological disorders.
Oh, yeah.
You with me?
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Awesome. Our focus is on an article from Veterinary Research
Okay.
titled Neurofilament Light Chain, or NFL, in cerebrospinal fluid and serum as a potential biomarker in the differential diagnosis of neurological diseases in cattle.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, but by the end of this deep dive,
Yeah.
you'll have a solid grasp of NFL and its potential impact on cattle health and really the whole agricultural industry.
It's a fascinating area. It really is.
Yeah.
Implications for how we approach these conditions in the future.
To start us off, could you give us a quick breakdown of what NFL is and why it's generating so much buzz in veterinary neurology?
Yeah. So NFL, neurofilament light chain, is a protein
Okay.
that forms part of the structural framework of nerve cells, right? So when these nerve cells get damaged, NFL is released into bodily fluids like blood and cerebrospinal fluid. Think of it as a kind of leakage that signals neuronal injury.
Okay.
Researchers are finding that measuring these NFL levels can offer valuable insights into a variety of neurological conditions.
So by measuring NFL, we're essentially getting a glimpse into the health of the nervous system.
Exactly.
Got it.
The article that we're diving into, it explores the potential of NFL as a biomarker for neurological disorders in cattle. Researchers had several objectives. They wanted to see how storage temperature affected NFL levels,
Okay.
define what's considered normal for different ages of cattle,
Right.
compare levels between healthy and sick animals, and investigate if serum NFL could be used as a less invasive alternative to testing cerebrospinal fluid.
So they were really trying to get a comprehensive understanding of how this behaves.
Yeah, in different scenarios.
Different scenarios.
Exactly.
Got it. And they used a specific method called the ELA microfluidic immunoassay
Right.
to quantify NFL in their samples.
Yes. Very sensitive technique. Allows for accurate measurement
Okay.
of this protein.
So let's dive into the findings. What were some of the key takeaways from this research?
Well, they discovered that storage temperature didn't really impact NFL levels.
Okay.
Both samples stored at negative 80 degrees Celsius and negative 20 degrees Celsius remained stable over time.
That's good news for practicality.
Yeah.
It means vets don't need specialized freezers to store these samples,
All right.
potentially making the test more accessible.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another interesting finding was the correlation between age and NFL levels.
Okay.
In adult cattle, both serum and cerebrospinal fluid, NFL increased with age,
Makes sense.
which makes sense, considering natural wear and tear on the nervous system.
Right.
However, this correlation wasn't as clear in calves,
Interesting.
possibly due to ongoing nervous system development.
So age is a factor to consider when interpreting the results, particularly in older animals.
Absolutely.
Got it. Now, where things get really interesting is when they looked at NFL levels in sick cattle.
They found significantly higher levels in cattle with degenerative disorders, particularly spinal muscular atrophy, or SMA, in calves.
SMA is a devastating condition.
Yeah,
So early diagnosis could be a game changer.
absolutely.
Did they find this elevation in NFL across other conditions as well?
Yes, it did. They also found significantly elevated NFL in calves with E. coli infections affecting the central nervous system and in cattle with thiamine deficiency.
This suggests that NFL could be a valuable tool in differentiating between conditions that might present with similar clinical signs.
That's the crux of the matter.
Okay.
What's also interesting is that certain conditions,
Right.
like most metabolic disorders
Wow.
and central nervous system anomalies,
Yeah.
did not show elevated NFL.
Interesting.
This specificity is really promising, right?
Yeah.
As it could help vets rule out certain diagnoses.
It's like having a more precise tool to pinpoint the root of the problem.
Precisely.
Okay.
Researchers also investigated the relationship between NFL levels in serum and cerebrospinal fluid.
This is about the possibility of using a simple blood test instead of a spinal tap.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
They did find a weak correlation in sick cattle, but not in healthy cattle.
So more research is needed in that area, but it's definitely a promising avenue to explore.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, the article goes into detail about how these findings could be applied in real-world scenarios.
Okay, I'm eager to hear more about that. Let's dig into those specific examples.
Yeah.
And what they mean for veterinarians and cattle farmers in part 2 of our deep dive.
Let's delve into some practical applications.
Okay.
Take spinal muscular atrophy, or SMA, in calves.
Right.
This is a genetic disorder, causes muscle weakness,
Yeah.
and often leads to early death.
Right.
Currently, diagnosing SMA can be challenging.
Yeah, I imagine.
It often involves, expensive genetic testing or sometimes even biopsies.
So being able to use NFL would be a much more streamlined approach.
That's right. The study shows that calves with SMA have significantly elevated NFL levels, which could lead to earlier diagnosis and potentially better management strategies. Although there's still much to learn about how to best manage this condition.
It makes you wonder if early intervention could make a difference in the progression of the disease.
That's the burning question that researchers are hoping to answer.
Yeah.
Another interesting application is in differentiating central nervous system infections from CNS anomalies in calves.
Both conditions can present with similar neurological signs.
Exactly.
Making diagnosis tricky.
While cerebrospinal fluid analysis remains the gold standard for diagnosing CNS infections,
Right.
elevated NFL levels could provide additional evidence to support that diagnosis. This could help vets make more informed decisions about treatment, especially in cases where CSF analysis might be inconclusive.
So it's like having another piece of the puzzle to help get a clearer picture.
Precisely.
Okay.
The study also highlights the potential of NFL in distinguishing between CNS infections and metabolic disorders in calves.
This is crucial because the treatments for those conditions are completely different.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
If a calf has a CNS infection, antibiotics are needed. But if it's a metabolic disorder, the focus would be on nutritional interventions.
Yeah.
Elevated NFL levels would point towards an infection, guiding the veterinarian towards the appropriate treatment.
It really emphasizes the importance of having accurate diagnostic tools.
It does.
To ensure that animals receive the right care.
Yes. And while this research focuses on calves, it opens up exciting possibilities for using NFL in diagnosing neurological disorders in adult cattle as well.
It makes you wonder what other applications might emerge as research in this area continues.
Absolutely. This study really is just the tip of the iceberg.
So we've talked about the exciting potential of NFL.
Yeah.
But like any scientific advancement, there are also limitations and areas where further research is needed.
Of course.
Can you shed some light on those?
One limitation of this particular study was the size of the healthy control group. While they did include a decent number of healthy cattle, a larger group would provide a more robust reference range for NFL levels.
So we need more data to establish what truly normal looks like across different breeds, ages, and management systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another area for future research is the influence of other factors on NFL levels.
Things like nutrition, stress, other underlying health conditions, right?
Precisely. We need a better understanding of how these variables interplay with NFL to refine its diagnostic value even further.
Right.
And of course, we need more research to solidify the connection between serum and cerebrospinal fluid NFL levels.
That's the ultimate goal, to be able to rely on a simple blood test for diagnosis.
It is. If we can demonstrate a strong correlation between the two, it would revolutionize how we approach neurological disorders in cattle. We could potentially screen animals more routinely, leading to earlier detection and intervention.
This could be a game changer for herd management, allowing farmers to be more proactive in safeguarding the health of their animals.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Now, even with these limitations, this research represents a significant step forward in veterinary neurology. It provides veterinarians and cattle farmers with a powerful new tool to consider in their diagnostic toolbox.
It's about having those crucial conversations, being aware of this emerging technology and understanding its potential benefits.
Yes.
But before we wrap things up, I'd love to get your perspective on the bigger picture.
Sure.
What does this research tell us about the future of cattle neurology? What are the long-term implications of these findings?
Well, if further research confirms the potential of NFL, I believe we're on the cusp of a paradigm shift in how we approach neurological disorders in cattle.
It sounds like we're moving towards a more proactive and preventative approach to cattle health.
Precisely. Imagine a future where, routine blood tests could help identify animals at risk for neurological disorders before they even show clinical signs.
That would be a huge step forward.
We could intervene earlier, potentially preventing those devastating outcomes we often see with these conditions. It could also have significant implications for breeding programs.
How so?
Well, if we can identify animals genetically predisposed to certain neurological conditions, we can make more informed decisions about breeding, potentially reducing the incidence of these disorders in future generations.
It's not just about individual animals then. It's about improving the health and resilience of entire herds over time.
That's the real power of this discovery. It has the potential to transform the way we think about and manage cattle neurology on a much larger scale.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. We've gone from the basics of NFL to its potential to revolutionize cattle neurology.
It's been a fascinating discussion. The pace of discovery in veterinary medicine is truly remarkable.
It is, and it underscores the importance of continued research and innovation in this field.
Absolutely. The more we understand about these complex neurological disorders, the better equipped we'll be to diagnose, treat, and ultimately prevent them.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's
Yeah.
the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think NFL holds immense promise as a diagnostic and management tool for neurological disorders in cattle.
Yeah.
It's an area of research that deserves close attention, as it has the potential to significantly improve animal welfare and the sustainability of the cattle industry.
It's a reminder to stay curious, stay informed, and always be on the lookout for new breakthroughs that can benefit the health of our animals.
From Vet NeuroJar.
Keep those minds inspired, hearts light, and tails wagging.